You're listening to The Creative Impostor. I'm Andrea Klunder. As you know from the last few episodes, I'm on this existential journey of trying to figure out whether my career as a podcast producer, consultant, and strategist is, well, worth it to the clients I serve. What is happening in this industry? Does it even make sense to podcast? Sometimes I get so in my head, ruminating on my clients, their shows, my business, and whether I'm earning enough money to sustain myself, let alone thrive, and searching for creative solutions to an endless litany of challenges that I forget to share the wins, the moments of success, the feeling of accomplishment when someone acknowledges that what I'm making is, in fact, good. So this episode is a shorty, edited from a video I live streamed a few weeks ago. And if you want to catch future live streams from me when they happen, follow me on LinkedIn at Andrea Klunder, Instagram at The Creative Impostor, or YouTube at The Creative Impostor. All of these will be linked, of course, for you in the show notes for this episode. All right, here we go. Hi, I'm Andrea Klunder, the founder and executive producer at the Creative Impostor Studios. And it's been a little while since I've done a video of any kind, or especially a live video. And I was inspired to do so not because I am a founder of a boutique podcast agency, not because I am a podcast producer, not even because I am a sometimes content creator myself, but because of my absolute favorite role in life, which is the role of auntie. Yep, I am the super cool aunt to 3 adorable little humans who are 3, 3, and 7. And this weekend, I got a chance to spend some time with the 7-year-old niece, and she reminded me of a very important lesson in marketing for entrepreneurs and business owners. And I thought this lesson was so good that I should share it with you. So here's the story. We're hanging out in my apartment, and she's very curious. She likes to explore. She likes to see what she can get into. And she's in my living room. And I think I was maybe in the kitchen, and I heard her say, "Oh, Auntie, those headphones are beautiful. Can I use them?" And of course, being an audio producer, there are a lot of headphones in my apartment, and they could have been anything. And so I peeked out to see what headphones she was talking about, and could she in fact use them? And the headphones that she was talking about, let me show you. Future Andrea, jumping in here. You can see the very headphones I'm about to share by checking out the video version of this episode on LinkedIn at Andrea Klunder or YouTube at The Creative Impostor, linked of course in the show notes. But for audio purposes, imagine bright, shiny, bronze, metallic headphones attached to an impressive stand in the shape of audio level bars. And the whole thing is quite heavy. Were these? This was what she was looking at. And yes, indeed, these headphones are so beautiful. What 7-year-old or 45-year-old for that matter wouldn't want to use these headphones? So I was like, oh, no, those are not headphones that you can use. That's an award. And she's like, what? How did you get an award? And so I told her about the Signal Awards. And this particular award was from the 2023 Signal Awards for podcasters. And this was an award that we won on behalf of one of our clients, the Santa Fe Opera Department of Community Engagement, for their podcast Key Change that we've been producing for 5 seasons, on to season 6 now. And this was for the category of music shows. And so I explained this to her that I had won an award, and she said, "What? You never told me that you won an award. So we looked at the award, verified that you could not, in fact, take the headphones off the award, and moved on and had breakfast. And then later on, we were sitting there in that same room, and she says, "Oh, Auntie, you didn't tell me you had two awards," because she had noticed on that same shelving unit, but on a higher up shelf, she saw this one. Also from the 2023 Signal Awards, also for Key Change with the Santa Fe Opera. Also very shiny and heavy. But you will notice that that one and this one are two different colors. And so I explained, oh, yes, I have two awards for that show for Key Change. And one is silver and one is bronze, kind of like the Olympics. And she said, "What? You were in the Olympics?" No, no, no. I was not in the Olympics. But it is kind of like the Olympics for podcasting, I guess. And the silver award was for a particular episode in the diversity, equity, and inclusion category. So the same show, we won bronze in the music shows category and silver in the DEI episodes category. And I'm not actually telling you this to brag, although maybe a little, because that is the lesson. The lesson is we won two awards for one of our clients' shows, and we did announce it maybe once on their show, and maybe I announced it once here online. Maybe I posted about it on social media. I got these beautiful awards, these beautiful trophies from the Signal Awards, and then they're just sitting on a shelf in my apartment living room where not very many people see them. And my niece was shocked that I had not told her about these awards and shown them to her previously. And I'm not even 100% sure she really knows what a podcast is. But that was the lesson, is that sometimes as a small business owner, a micro agency, let's be real, I am an agency employee of one employer. And I have a team of incredible independent contractors who I work with. But really, I am a tiny micro business, and we work with a handful of clients at any given time. And when you are working with a number of contractors who are focused on production, focused on client delivery, the thing is that you as the owner then are the one who has to do all of the other things, who has to do the business administration, who has to manage operations, who has to do marketing and sales and promotion and bookkeeping. Oh gosh, let's not forget about bookkeeping. There's so much that needs to be done. And I am a producer. I am a creator at heart. I love to make audio. I love to work with clients to help them bring their stories to life and share the story of their brand and interview fantastic guests. That is what I love to do. That is why I started a podcast agency in the first place. That is why the Creative Impostor Studios exists. And sometimes there isn't enough time to do everything. And if I have to choose between sales and marketing and promoting the business and finding new business and shouting from the rooftops that the Creative Impostor Studios won 2 Signal Awards with the Santa Fe Opera for Key Change, or focus on production, focus on making audio and making podcasts and the craft, I'm going to choose craft and production every single time until I am forced or reminded very cleverly by a 7-year-old that marketing is important. And so I thought I would take this opportunity to share this funny to me, I don't know if you think it's funny, but funny to me little story about my very clever niece and what she reminded me of in my business. And to let you know that was last year's awards. This year in 2024, another one of our clients, Del Sol Quartet, was an official selection at the Tribeca Festival in New York. We were one of only 16 total audio projects or podcasts chosen to be featured in their 2024 festival for their show Sounds Current Season 1 Angel Island, which was also an incredible experience and a huge accomplishment. I literally thought the email was spam when it came in saying that we had been selected and offered a spot. But there it was. Things are just continuing to grow. And I wanted to let you know that we are actually actively looking right now for 2 new clients to join us at the Creative Impostor Studios to begin in January 2025, which may seem light years away, but it's not. If you want to get started in January, now is the time to start those conversations and start putting things together for that. Specifically, we are looking for clients who are nonprofit organizations or for-profit organizations, businesses, companies, creative leaders in their industry who want to use the audio first platform of podcasting, maybe video, but specifically audio storytelling, to make a positive cultural impact in their niche. We work with arts organizations, cultural organizations, mental health organizations, organizations that bring about well-being in their world and to their people, organizations that help bring forward marginalized voices and tell stories that maybe the general public isn't really that aware of, in the hopes of creating greater equity and moving the culture forward in a positive way. And this is a great time in at least American cycles to be doing that. But it's always a great time to be moving the culture forward in a positive way. And so if that sounds like you and you haven't yet created and crafted your podcast, but maybe it's been something in the back of your mind, or if you have one or had one and it took a hiatus, or you're not really sure you're going in the right direction, or you want to experiment and try something new, and you are willing to invest in making a cultural impact, we would love to have a conversation. And by we, I mean I would love to have a conversation with you about what you're thinking and whether and how we at the Creative Impostor Studios, and that time I do mean we, can help support you in that vision. And maybe, just maybe, one of these bright, shiny awards could be yours in the future when you work with us. So if that's something that's interesting to you, even if it's just kind of the beginning of an idea, email me, Andrea at infuselife.net, and we'll look at setting up a short call just to kind of see what your idea is and what your next steps are to move forward. I did want to mention, I see a comment from Jonas here. Hi, Jonas. And Jonas says, maybe your niece is jealous. She wants to know about everything. Maybe you can teach her one day. And believe me when I say, I hope and dream that she or any of my nieces will be interested in audio production and that I can apprentice them and teach them the craft of making podcasts and making audio and doing storytelling through digital media. That would be my dream come true if I could teach them how to do that. That would be really awesome. It's a great suggestion. Thank you, Jonas. So that's my little story, and perhaps a reminder for you as well, if you are like me and you would rather make the thing, do the craft, be a producer, be in production, than doing the businessy stuff of marketing and sales and, God forbid, social media, then maybe it's time to take a look and see, should I be putting the message out there? Should I be sharing our work from the rooftops and acknowledging the creative genius that our clients are bringing to the table, that we're helping to facilitate, to put out into the world in a way that gets recognized, in a way that is noteworthy and, dare I say, award worthy? Where can you be doing more of that marketing about what you're creating that's awesome right now? All right, it's hot. I got to turn my air conditioning back on. Thanks so much for tuning in. And if you're curious about how podcasting might work for you, send me a message. Let's set it up.
Future Andrea again. And if you've made it all the way here to the outro of this episode, I'm pretty confident there's something compelling to you about what I'm saying. So often I meet someone out and about in the world who finds out about what I do and wants to run some ideas by me for a podcast they want to create for their organization or get my opinion on their current podcast. And I never really loved doing one-off sessions because they tend to lead to pretty generic advice. And if there's anything I've learned over a decade or so of experience with podcasting, there is no one-size-fits-all approach that works for everyone. But now I'm cooking up something special. I'm developing a new service offering for indie podcasters, organizations, and companies who want to use podcasting specifically to amplify their cultural impact. Rather than my usual long-term, full-service strategy launch and production offerings, this would be a power-packed short-term engagement where we work out your best strategy for the next step in your show's evolution. I'm still kind of working out some clever naming convention. What should I call it? But for shows that already exist, this would be a conversation around your vision and gaining clarity on where you want to go next and what your podcast specifically can do for you, along with a full audit of what's working and where your golden opportunities are hiding. And if you are planning to launch a brand new podcast, this would be more of an ideation session. Ooh, ideation, that sounds so techie startup-y. Along with a high-level landscape overview of what already exists in your niche and how you can differentiate your show for your brand. The idea is to help you and your team, if you have one, get focused and align what you're making with who you are and what you want to do in the world. I can pretty much guarantee that together we will save you time, money, and a lot of frustration if you start here. Rather than spinning your wheels with a bunch of generic marketing tactics and hacky podcast growth advice. I have just a few spots open on my calendar this fall for you to workshop this process with me at an introductory rate. Curious? Email me, andrea@infuselife.net, linked in the show notes, and let me know a little bit about your podcast. I will send you a link to book a short podcast tea date with me to see if this is the right time and right fit for you to help you align your vision with your voice to create your podcast. The Creative Impostor is produced, edited, and hosted by Andrea Klunder. That's me. Our theme music is by JoVia Armstrong. I thank you so much for listening. And this week, I encourage you to find something you're proud of and shout it from the rooftops.